Hey there, do-it-yourselfers. Today we're going to talk about headlight refinishing. And I know a lot of you have probably never seen a headlight refinish video, right? Yeah, that's probably wrong. I'm sure you've seen a lot of headlight refinish videos because there's a bunch of them on YouTube. And the truth is, there's a lot of good headlight refinish videos on YouTube. But today we're going to talk about count them, three, one, two, three truths of headlight refinishing. And we're going to start off with obviously number one. Number one is that there's a lot of different products that you can use to refinish your headlights. Here we have, a fairly decent selection of them, right? What we have over here is, well, just water. Well, that's going to help with your headlight refinishing, but that's not going to do the job. I saw a video on using WD-40. Not a very long-lasting fix. Don't recommend that really at all. Vinegar and baking soda, that'll work. Toothpaste, that'll work, particularly the paste, not the gel so much. Metal polish, a couple different types. There's some great YouTubers that like mothers. Again, that's fine. That'll work. Paint polish that you use after you refinish a car, or you just want some paint correction. That'll work on your headlights. PlastX or PlastX, specially made for headlight refinishing. Then over here we get to the kits, right? I'm going to spend a little bit more money on these, particularly the chemical guys. But I've used the 3M, I've used the Turtle Wax, chemical guys. But I mean, again, you can make your own kit. Get some sandpaper, and get some polish. And then, of course, after the refinishing, you need some kind of coating, whether it's a wax like this, or some type of a paint, a clear paint, an acrylic, a lacquer, or some type of specially formulated spray. But that's some of your choices. But then we get to the second truth, which is what's the condition of your headlight? How long do you want the refinish to last? And how much time, money, and effort do you want to put into it? So let's talk about that for a minute. If you're using WD-40, it's really quick, but it's not going to last long. Maybe a couple days, because it's just an oil that's coating your headlights. It's not, again, not something I would recommend. If you want to go for cheaper, if you want to use a household item such as a toothpaste or vinegar and baking soda, yes, you can use those. You stir that up into a paste, and then you put it on your headlight, you rub it in. Will it last? It'll last a little while. Again, probably more than a few days. It'll last maybe a few months. But do you really want to be rubbing on your headlights every couple months? Probably not. Then we get to these metal polishes, and those work well. Now, I mean, and those will last for a little while longer, maybe up to 6 months. I like the paint refinishing because these are specially formulated for that. And then you can get different grits. You can get a much more aggressive grit, or something that's much finer, like the Finesse It. And then, of course, the Meguiars has this plastic X or PlastX that is a specially formulated. So you can use that as well. And those will last, again, probably 6 months to a year. But then you're going to have to put some kind of a wax or some other kind of coating on it. But I would also say with those products is that, it's not going to work for very heavy oxidation or, yellowing, and some yellowing it'll work, but not the heavy oxidation, not where the clear coat is actually coming off of your lens. For that, you're going to need some of these other products. You're at least going to need some wet sandpaper, if not a kit that includes the wet sandpaper. You're going to have to take that factory UV coating off, and then you're going to have to polish it with both the sandpaper and the liquid polish. Again, whichever brand that you prefer. And then you're going to have to, after all that's done, then you're going to have to go over it with a clear coat of some type. Is that going to last longer? Yes. It's probably, any of those products are going to last, should last a year, hopefully even longer than that, you know, maybe even 1.5 to 2 years. All right, so enough talk. Let's get into some demonstration, because that's why you watch headlight refinish videos, right? To compare before and after and whatnot. So here we've got a 2010 Honda Accord that my daughter bought. Bought it used, and overall it's a good car. We went through and changed spark plugs and changed the O2 sensors and changed the oil and things like that. Got it up to snuff, and it's running well. But you know, these headlights, they're okay. I mean, that's probably the best way to describe it. They're not crystal clear, but they're not super cloudy either, as this video shows. And the camera doesn't really do it justice, because I think the camera shows it a little bit clearer than what it is to the naked eye. If you get down kind of on a level like this, you can see more of the cloudiness and the scratches. And frankly, I wonder if some of that isn't on the inside of the lens. But be that as it may, it looks like somebody's tried to refinish this headlight already, and the other one as well. You can see some sanding scratches where I would say a lot of the UV coating has already been taken off of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and use one of the kits because it looks like our UV coating's already gone. So I prefer the Turtle Wax kit. I'm not sponsored by any particular company, believe me, but I like the Turtle Wax kit for overall effectiveness and ease of use. It's got everything you need in the kit, and the price, it's less than $10. So we're gonna give that a shot, see if we can't make these headlights look better than what they do right now. Okay, so we're about to use the Turtle Wax kit, and we have cleaned the lens, both lenses, with glass cleaner, and we've went ahead and taped off the painted areas. Anytime I use sandpaper or any abrasive, I like to tape off the painted areas. It's just a precaution, better safe than sorry. Sometimes it'll make a difference, sometimes it won't, but again, why take a chance? So on this particular lens, what I can see is that, again, somebody's sanded off and tried to refinish this headlight with moderate success at best. You can see scratches. I don't know if the camera picks it up well, but I can see over here where somebody probably used a drill or a machine buffer and actually had too much heat, didn't use enough lubricant, and you can see where it's pilling, and it's got some extra hazing and extra material there. So what I like to do is I like to just use the sanding paper in this kit, or in another, you know, you can use regular sandpaper, and then just do it by hand. Okay, this is after 2 thorough passes with the lens clarifying compound, and the clarities come up quite a bit. We still have some very fine scratches on the lens, but our final step where we're going to put a coating back on the lens, which is really essential. I mean, you're going to have a coating because the UV coating, the factory UV coating, is now gone. So, but you're going to see a lot of clarity come out with that coating. Okay, and here's the finished product on the 2010 Honda Accord. The exterior of the headlight is as clear as we can possibly make it. It has cleared up quite a bit. The final final coat is still drying a bit, but it is noticeably, and I hope you can see it on the video, it's noticeably clearer than it was before before we used the turtle wax kit. So I'm happy about that. But that brings us to the third truth about headlight refinishing, which is at some point after you refinish headlights, maybe once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times, you're going to have to replace the headlight if you keep a car long enough. I have a 2003 Accord that I refinished the headlights 3 times, and it got to the point where I was tired of sanding and putting more clear coat on, and it just became more advantageous to replace the headlight. This particular headlight, it looks good at the moment, but again, will this clear coat last? Maybe a year, maybe a little bit longer. And we have what looks like some haze that's even inside the light. And if my good friend Chris could turn on the lights for us, you can see it better with the light on. Any haze that you see on this light at this point is on the inside. I can assure you that it's not on the outside. It's on the inside. So there is some haze there, but again, it looks significantly better than what it did before. I wanted to give a big shout out to my good friend Chris. He very graciously allowed us to use his garage. It is about 25 degrees out and not suitable for refinishing headlights or doing any other work to the car for that matter. So we really appreciate his help for this segment because we wouldn't have been able to do it without him. Again, there's another shot at our 2010 Honda Accord light, which certainly does look better. So, for example, we have a 2005 Chevy Malibu that I'm working on for my daughter's friend, and she has this car, and I'm working on the brakes, changing the rotors and the pads, but she's got these headlights which are oxidized and yellowed by the sun, and believe it or not, these things were even worse. I just went a real quickly over it at one point with some rubbing compound so that you could even see the lenses. You couldn't even see the lenses at all. But you can see that these things are still in pretty bad shape. And the problem with these Malibu lenses is that you can see the turn signal amber plastic portion has been burnt and has fallen off. So these are damaged. I mean, these need to be replaced. And that's going to happen. I mean, not that exact thing, but I mean, eventually your lenses are going to wear out and you're going to need to replace them. But these, you can see even on the right passenger side that the lens has been burnt. So these are going to have to be replaced. I'm going to go over them quickly with some others to show that that works as well. I'm going to do that real quickly and show you. Okay, so here I'm going to use a clean microfiber cloth. Going to use the mothers. I'm going to rub it in. Here you can see part of the process. I'm just rubbing in the mother's polish, working the cloth around. After I'm done, it'll either need to be thrown away or washed in the laundry. But as you can see, I mean, it's helping the clarity, but what this really needs at this point, it does need sanded down. You can see, if I can get even closer, you can see the cracking and the crazing in the plastic itself. I mean, you know, this would need to be sanded down and refinished with the 3M or other sanding products, and then go the full gambit. Once you're done sanding and polishing, you then need to cover it with a clear coat. But again, these are damaged, so there's no point in doing all that. Let's get them as clear as we can for right now, and then these need to be replaced in the near future. Okay, so I've dirtied up my brand new microfiber towel, and I've been rubbing on this headlight for about 7 minutes or so, and you can see that it has cleared up some more than it did. That one compared to this one, not a ton of difference, but there is some. If you back up some more, you can kind of tell that the one on the right side of the screen, the driver's side, is a bit more clear than the passenger side at this point. Okay, y'all, for the next example, I wanted to show you my 2003 Honda Accord. It is today 17 years old, and I had refinished the headlights on this car 3 times. Looked good after the finish, but the UV coating would then come off, or the coating that I put on would come off. And that was true no matter which coating I would use, whether it was a paint or the turtle wax wipe. So I decided to go ahead and just replace the headlights to get that brand new look, which it certainly has. These were replaced 2 years ago with the TYC brand, which is an aftermarket brand, but it is OEM manufactured and you know, just as close as you can get without buying an OEM, and it's a little cheaper. But it's held up 2 years, looks really good, and obviously, in addition to the looks, we've got the safety factor. And hey, it's been raining. I mean, you know, I haven't washed the car, so these things look good no matter the weather. Okay, y'all, final segment. We're going to recap. Number 1, different methods will work, but results will vary. A lot of those videos you've seen on YouTube, Chris Fix, Scotty Kilmer, Sweet Project Cars, Ammo New York City, those are all good videos, and there's a bunch more out there. And these different methods do work, but you may get different results. Number 2, use the method that fits the job and your goals. If all you have is something like toothpaste or vinegar and baking soda, okay, if that's what you have and you don't have the money for it, then go for it, it'll work. But if it's light oxidation, I would suggest one of the polishes, whether a metal polish, a plastic polish specifically, or a paint polish. However, if you've got heavy oxidation, if you've got yellowing, if you've got cracking, you're going to need sanding, and you're going to need either a kit, or you're going to need something you put together where you've got sandpaper and polish to go on top of that. You're also going to need a clear coat of some type once you finish. Okay, and that brings us to truth number 3, which is the clear coat on your headlight will wear over time, and you will want to replace your headlights for the best clarity. That's certainly true if you have damaged headlights like the 2005 Malibu that I showed you, or if over time you've got clouding on the inside of the headlight. Much easier just to replace it. Now, you're looking at my 2004 Toyota Tundra, and fortunately I've not had to do anything to these headlights. I've not had to replace them or refinish them. These are the original headlights. Why? 2004, I mean, you know, this is a 16-year-old vehicle. The big reason being that it just hasn't been exposed to the weather much. It's been inside in the garage for most of the time, and it's not been exposed to the sun, the UV rays, or the weather. So the factory coating is still on there for the most part. At some point in the near future, I'll need to go over it with a fine polish and a wax, but I'll need to use something light to protect that factory UV coating as long as possible. Bottom line is, folks, that you can do this, use the product that fits the job, and you will increase the looks of your vehicle, but most importantly, the safety of your vehicle. All right, thanks for watching. Please press like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And again, I'm just here to help. Thanks.